Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to a new episode of the Coffee Corner. Today, we're talking about the wonderful world of interest targeting. Exciting stuff. It actually is, because it's the most important thing to ensure that your ads are running smoothly, correctly, and you aren't wasting any ad spend. So, it's a bit of a step-by-step process, but I'm going to walk you through the basics just so you can start getting set up today. And if you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. So here we are in our ad account. Now, when you get set up, you want to first select what type of campaign you want to run. In this case, let's just say traffic. That just means you want to drive people to a website or some kind of landing page. Maybe it's a Spotify page, maybe it's a YouTube page, whatever it might be. So let's go with traffic. Now, you can start off by naming your campaign. You can leave that alone. This is just the campaign level stuff. What we're talking about is at the ad set level. Now, there's a lot here. You can pretty much walk through that yourself. This is budget, start date. You can go through the process of actually creating an ad in another video. For now, let's just talk about interest targeting, because this is kind of the thing that gets overlooked and rushed, and the other stuff is pretty self-explanatory. So when you scroll down here, you'll get to a part that says create new audience. So now you're thinking of where and what and who you want to target to. So this could be, in this case, the United States. Let's say 18 to 65 is too broad, so let's say 18 to 35. That kind of covers two basic demographics for you right there, which is generally where you want to be. Maybe even expand that out to like 3. It really depends on testing, which we'll talk about in another video, and what that tells you. So let's say you've done the testing, you know, or you just know off the bat, like I know people that are 18 to 24, you know, or 18 to 35, or that's going to be my demo. Okay, great. You can pick a gender. Again, this is something we can talk about in another video. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to segment those two things. Something else to know. For now, let's just say all. So let's get down here to detail targeting. Now, Facebook will give you interests to work off of, but honestly, I would probably stay away from these. They are very generic, as you can see. Let's talk about creating an ad for a movie, for example. You get action movies. Now, it's a good place to start, perhaps, so with action movies, but that's extremely broad, and also has an audience of 650 million. Let's just thriller movies, and as you can see, they don't even that has 737 million. So between these two, that's extremely broad, and right there you have 1 point something billion people you're targeting to. So that's a lot, and honestly, it doesn't hurt to throw those in, but you really want to get more specific. So let's say we're talking about action movies. So let's say we want to target some actors. So Bruce Willis is obviously someone that comes to mind. Maybe someone like Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr. You can kind of go down the list, and this information you probably know. You could Google around. You know, top box office actors and actresses, for example. And maybe you want to pick some action movies, so something simple like The Avengers. Now, there's a lot of different types of Avengers interest that you can pick from. And maybe that's just one audience even. We can talk about that in a different video, how you create different ad sets, testing different things. When you're doing what we like to call cold traffic or cold targeting, meaning this is the first ad that's going out to people, that this is the first thing they're going to see. Maybe it's your first phase, maybe it's something very early. It's an ad that you're running very early on. So let's say let's just focus on movies. Let's say Avengers movies. There's a lot more, so more Avengers. Let's see, there's Marvel Avengers Alliance. There's so much. I mean, you can throw the comics in there too, because maybe a comic book fan would obviously be a fan of a movie. Hence, the whole success of the Avengers Marvel franchise. It is based off comic books. So that makes sense to target there. Captain America, sure. I mean, you can even throw in Iron Man. That'll come up. There's one, two, three, and there's all of them right there. The film. So you can keep going on and adding those in. Also, Facebook might give you some suggestions which are helpful, like Spider-Man, and then that comes to mind. Okay, so Tom Holland, maybe even Tobey Maguire. You can throw in there. You keep building this out, and this is how you really hone in on an audience. You really want to get down to the nitty-gritty. I would say somewhere in the range of 20 to 30 of these would be enough. You don't want to put 100 interests in one audience. You kind of do want to start segmenting at some point. So maybe one audience is focusing on actors. Maybe one audience is focusing on different films. Stuff like that. But you can even get more specific. Let's say we want to drive people to a ticket landing page to go see a movie in New York. Now that movies are back, hey, people are interested in going to movies. So maybe we'll start targeting film schools. So New York, NYU is obviously one of the big ones. Tisch, again, this could come from Googling around. You can Google New York film schools, or just film school in general might be one. Because you figure people are making movies, learning how to make movies. Maybe they want to go see a movie. This is kind of how you have to think about things when you're building an audience. And that's really how you get started doing that. Again, there's more. If you go through suggestions, studios, there's so many. Indie films, who knows? You could keep going on and on. At some point, you kind of have to just cut things short and just say, okay, this is my audience for now. This is what I'm going to go with. I used to use this detailed targeting expansion. What it does is lets Facebook kind of expand upon what you're targeting. But then the question arises as well, what is that exactly? So I tend to just not use that anymore. I'd rather hone in on what I know or what I think will work. And then you go through analytics and you look at what's working and what doesn't. Different video for a different day. But this is where you start. It all depends on what you are targeting, what you're creating an ad for, what your assets look like. And from there, you can just save your audience, name it New York action movies, save it, and now you got it there. You can duplicate it. You can create different versions of it. It's there for you to work with, and then you can go through the next steps of creating your ad. I hope everyone found that helpful. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next video.